Appreciate both Iraqi Council of Representatives and APA Secretary General for convening this meeting, generous hospitality, and warmest welcome as well as excellent arrangement. We are here while Palestinian people, including in the Gaza Strip, are dying and under extinction through their deliberated genocide and ethnic cleansing by Israel. Until now, since 7th of October, we have seen the horrific scenes that heinously take to continue. More than 10,000 Palestinians killed, including more than 5,000 children, 3,000 women, with many victims still trapped beneath the rubble, and an Israeli siege drying up access to vital goods like fuel, foods, electricity, and medical supplies. The number of injured people has exceeded 20,000 people, and most of them children and women. And nearly 1.5 million people have been internally displaced in the Gaza Strip, and their sanitary environment is deteriorating. The Israeli barbaric bombardment on Gaza continuously intensifies, deliberately targeting civilians, hospitals, refugee camps, schools, journalists, UN staffs, medical workers, and others. One Palestinian child killed and 2 injured every 10 minutes in Israeli strikes. Gaza's major hospitals are on the edge of collapse, including the Indonesian hospital due to Israeli deliberated airstrikes. And UN World Program says that aid entering Gaza nowhere near enough to meet needs of people. So in short, as we all know here, as parliamentarians, as recently described by the UN Secretary General, that situation in Gaza, graveyard for children, and nightmare that is more than humanitarian crisis. Distinguished parliamentarians, our today's gathering is very timely in relation to the heinous situation in Palestine's Gaza. We angrily voice our grave concerns for not taking any concrete action to put an end to the inhuman Israeli attacks. Many express their anger by saying, if you feel that your life is useless, look at the United Nations Security Council. As a result, Israel continues indiscriminate attacks, determining to eliminate Gaza in both people and land, taking all means and ways to destroy, besiege, enclave while ignoring international laws. Therefore, it is not surprising that Israel must be further investigated for war crime and act of genocide in Gaza. With regard to such unacceptable in Gaza, APA member parliaments must demonstrate their message in strongest possible terms that further should be enshrined in the draft of Asian Parliament's unwavering support for the Palestinian people or the joint statement. The House of Representatives of the Republic of Indonesia already put forward its substantial inputs to the draft. However, allow me to concisely mention some key points from such inputs to make the draft stronger and more solid. First, grave concern over the continued blatant violation of Israel to international laws, reflecting the ineffectiveness, failure, and incapability of the international system in resolving and maintaining international peace and security. Second, the current war situation in Palestine, including the Gaza Strip, is a result of not taking any tangible action by the international communities to put an end to the Israeli violation for more than 7 decades. Third, the international community must put redoubled pressure on Israel to stop its unfolding military aggression against the people of Gaza by way of a complete ceasefire. Fourth, countries from all over the globe must use their influence to urge Israel to stop and refrain from taking actions that violate human rights, as well as to lift the total blockade of Gaza. And fifth, the United Nations and its relevant bodies, including the Security Council, must act immediately to protect Palestinian civilians, including by lifting the humanitarian aid blockade of the Gaza Strip. Sixth, the prosecutor of the International Criminal Court must initiate to investigate in depth the current situation in the Gaza Strip as part of his ongoing investigation, which focuses on crimes within the jurisdiction of the court allegedly committed in the connection with the situation in Palestine since 13 of June 2014. The international community must be more objective and fairer in assessing the situation in Palestine and refrain from resorting to double standards and hypocritical views, such as responses will not solve the root cause of the problem or help resume the peace process negotiation which have been stalling since 2014. 8. It is imperative to underline that the Israeli genocide of Palestine's Gaza Strip, which has been ongoing for 35 days, in which unfortunately supported by some Western countries, shows to the world that behavior and mentality of colonialism still exists. In the past time period, such behavior and mentality had made Asian, African, and American countries colonialized, the mentality which had made these people slaves. Deplorably, such sin returns through the Israeli neo-colonialism by land grabbing and expulsion of Palestinians from their homeland. Such sin will occur if the world keeps silent and do nothing about the gruesome situation in Gaza. It is very timely for us to totally put an end any kind of unacceptable colonialism. 9. The pressing need for reforming international systems, particularly the United Nations and its Security Council, in order to strengthen their international enforcement role in resolving all conflicts, including in Palestine. 10. The call on countries from all over the world to isolate the current Israeli regime from any interactions among nations, including denormalize any kind of relations politically and economically. It is not anti-Semitic measure. It is just a deserved response to Israeli stubbornness. And 11th, the horrific unfolding in Palestine, including in Gaza Strip, must be constituted as the genocide, and whoever are implicit to such massacre should be brought into justice. Dear parliamentarians, the Israeli massacre and genocide of Palestinian people in Gaza must be immediately ended without any condition. It is timely to show to the world that Israel is the terrorist state. It is also the appropriate moment for us to support all efforts taken to file a lawsuit, urge the ICC to include genocide in Gaza war crimes probe and issue arrest warrants for Israel leaders. Furthermore, we must harness the current situation for calling upon countries to upgrade their recognition of Palestinian statehood as an effort to achieve Palestinian full membership at the UN. More full political support to Palestine will ensure the maintenance of hope for an independent, democratic, sovereign, and viable state of Palestine. Every moment, channel, track, forum, and any possible ways can be seized to echoing such recognition. There are a few countries that have not given the recognition. However, most of the world's nations stand with Palestine, and now the pressing need is uniting these nations with joint actions against Israeli intractability. In pursuance of our key points, allow me on behalf of the House of Representatives of the Republic of Indonesia to propose 2 additional operative paragraphs to read. Fully recognize that the indiscriminate Israeli attacks on the Gaza Strip is a massacre and genocide of Palestinian people. Therefore, all efforts taken to file the International Criminal Court lawsuit against Israel over Gaza must be fully supported to include genocide in Gaza war crimes probe and issue arrest warrants for Israel leaders. Call on countries from all over the world, including those are incorporated in the APA, to upgrade their recognition of Palestinian statehood as an effort to achieve Palestinian full membership at the UN, and recommend to isolate the current Israeli regime from any interactions among nations, including denormalize any kind of relations politically and economically. And to conclude, Indonesia, with all walks of life, the parliament, the government, civil society organizations, media, academic, and majority of 280 million Indonesian people fully remains committed to stand with the people of Palestine to achieve their unalienable rights to have the state with its full membership at the UN. A few days ago, on the 5th of November, the world witnessed the largest world's rallies in support of Palestine, with almost 2 million people have taken in the street in Jakarta. So let us more firm to make Palestine free from the Israeli occupation and bloody colonialism. Free Palestine. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Thank you.